What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Titletown Podcast. It's Chase, and I'm here with three of my friends today, Adam, Cam, and Drew. Say hi, everyone. What's going on?
What's happening?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
All right. So we got a special episode coming out right now, and we're going to do a little bit of around the horn action. We have 4 Celtics topics we're going to discuss today, and here's how it's going to go. Each guy's going to have 45 seconds to talk about the specific topic, and then at the end of everyone's original round, we're going to do a rebuttal for that specific one. We're going to get a little jazz, get a little wild. This is going to be really fun. Hope this gets really funny. All right. Is everyone ready?
Rip it.
All right.
Sure.
First topic right now with the Celtics. This is all Celtics again. Can't specify that enough. So first one, we got Gordon Hayward abandoning ship. Adam, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. All right, let's see. Honestly, I don't mind. I was really excited when we signed him a while ago. I was like, all right, here's an all-star. Here's a guy who we're going to pay a lot of money. He's going to come be an absolute beast. He now got his second $120 million+ contract and still only one all-star game appearance. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Also, the fact that he turned down, we were offering him like $100 million to re-sign with us, play for a perennial contender, and he goes to play for the freaking Charlotte Hornets. I mean, I think that tells you a lot about his priorities about winning versus money. I'm a big supporter of the fact that we're a team that's ready to win, and we're a team that wants players who are here to win. And if he's not going to be that player who's prioritizing winning, then I'm kind of okay with him being gone.
Yeah, we got
That
time,
said,
Adam.
Okay.
All right, Drew, you're up.
Give me something back for him now.
Yeah, Adam, I absolutely agree. Fucking Gordon Hayward, $100 million you're going to turn down from the Celtics, who went to the Eastern Conference Finals, could have absolutely beat the Heat and gone to the finals. Instead, what are you going to do? Go form a super team with LaMelo Ball? That's sick. Taking 120 over 4. Peace out, Gordon Hayward. I don't want anything to do with you. As one of our friends says, the best ability is availability. You don't have that. You can't even attack the rim anymore. I don't need another spot-up shooter wing player. Gordon Hayward means nothing to the Celtics. We do not need that player. He's not even a great shooter, and I cannot imagine after the broken leg and the ankle that he's going to be able to attack the rim and get the point paints that the Celtics need. So peace out, Hayward. We have plenty of other wing players, and we're not going to miss you. Have fun with LaMelo Ball, dude.
Yeah, we got time. All right, Cam, you're up.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that. Wow. Yeah. Obviously, the Gordon Hayward we got over the past couple of years was not the Hayward we expected, coming out of Utah. At this point, we can pretty confidently say that year before free agency in Utah was Hayward's best year to date, just with injuries plaguing him. And while it's definitely had one of his better years in the Celtics this past year, and definitely kind of raised his value back from having no minutes with the Celtics before this year, and pretty much, I think he definitely got overpaid in Charlotte. This is now the 4th guy that the Hornets have severely overpaid, in my opinion, joining Batum, Rozier, and Zeller. I don't really see the value in a $120 million contract for Hayward at this point in his career. As Drew said, we don't really need another wing player. So, while the potential was definitely there at one point, it sucks to see Hayward not fully achieve what he definitely could have in Boston.
Yeah, we got time. We're good with that, but yeah.
Without him.
All right. Anyone want to rebuttal? Adam, you up?
Yeah, I mean, it's not much of a rebuttal because I think we're all kind of in the same position of screw Gordon Hayward at this point. If he wanted to win, he would have stayed. Yeah. I will say, though, I feel like him leaving, we lose 2 key things. His absolutely gorgeous wife and his really creepy mustache. But then again, mustache replaced right here by Drew, and beautiful wife replaced by Tristan Thompson coming in, which I'm sure we'll get to later. So even more so, no complaints now, entirely replaceable.
All right, yeah, kind of going what everyone had said. Doesn't sound like we have a lot of area to argue over here. Kind of all on the same page. That the Hayward experiment definitely would have been fun. Injuries, plague careers. He's not the first one to do that too. But definitely by no means think he's a necessity to our success. We showed that when we really succeeded without him on the court. I think by signing Tatum and Brown or extending them long term, I think it kind of proves we have faith in them. So. Bummer what could have been, could have, would have, should have, but is what it is.
Yep. All right. So before we go on to the next topic, I'm just giving my 2 cents real quick. And I agree, Adam, we do lose those 2 big things, but I think another big one we lost on was the fact that we weren't able to sign and trade him to the Pacers and get Dougie McBuckets and Miles Turner. You know, Hayward is not good. He's going to be the next Nicholas, whatever that guy's, Batum's last name. Horns made a big mistake, but, you know, I'm not upset. I'm not upset at Gordon Hayward for leaving because, you know what, if you can get $120 million to be hurt half the year, why not? All right, with that, we move on to our next topic.
Sign and trade still seems to be on the table with the Hornets.
Yeah, that actually does seem to be on the table, but I don't want anyone on the Hornets. I don't want Scary Terry back on that contract.
Back.
Yeah. All right, here we go. So next topic is going to be Tristan Thompson and Jeff Teague signing. Adam, you want to take us off?
Yeah, all right, let's go. Jeff Teague, love it. Tristan Thompson, hate it. Jeff Teague, I mean, a guy who started most of his career, and then Trae Young comes in to be the young stud. He says, no worries, I'll go be the backup. I'll still produce off the bench, be a great locker room guy. He made a whole point in free agency. He was like, I want to join a team where I can win. He's here to be a mentor of a lot of young guards who I think he can really help out. Absolutely love that signing. Tristan Thompson, we had one big need at center, and it was a center who's actually above 6'10". I don't think Tristan Thompson's even above 6'10". Sure,
I think he's like 6'9" or something.
Better rebounder. Sure, maybe double
Yeah.
guy. But who's going to guard Joel Embiid in the playoffs? Who's going to guard Giannis in the playoffs? We just need a large center. And that said, if we wanted someone like that, Serge Ibaka got the exact same contract as Tristan Thompson. And I don't think anybody can argue that Tristan Thompson is as good as Serge Ibaka right now.
Maybe, yeah, we got time. We'll get back to you in a little bit, Adam.
2 or 3 years younger, but goddamn, come on.
Yeah, Drew, you're up. Go.
Yeah, so Adam, one area I totally agree with you. Serge Ibaka is balling right now. He actually has an A stat in 2K for the mid-range, pretty slept-on aspect of the game.
Drew, big 2K guy.
I am pretty excited about Tristan Thompson, however. Chase, you're right. He's 6'9". And Adam, you're absolutely right. We need to fill that center spot. I don't think that Tristan Thompson is in replacement of a center. We still need to go after someone who isn't unathletic like Daniel Tice. Ennis Cantor's gone. Peace out. Also not an athletic center. That's not what we need. I am excited about Tristan Thompson. He has 2 consecutive seasons with double-doubles, which is sweet. He's going to pull down 10 rebounds every game and try to get some gritty points in the paint. He's not filling the void that we need at the center position, but it is a nice change of pace for the Celtics to step away from wing players and actually try to get some gritty paint points. I'm also really excited about Jeff Teague. I feel great about that.
All right, Drew, we're going to have to wait for you and Jeff Teague. Cam, you're up.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, the Jeff Teague signing, I was more or less kind of like, whatever. You know, guard is not really something that we need at all. A cool experienced veteran, never hurts down a playoff stretch, but more or less I didn't really have a problem with it, but wasn't really excited about it. The Tristan Thompson one, I also kind of not excited about, but for different reasons. As Adam said, we kind of need that big guy to go lock down the paint for us in the playoffs. Bam kind of exposed us in the Eastern Conference Finals. Specifically, I don't know if it was maybe game 4 or game 6 where we just got severely out-rebound on the offensive end. They just made us look really small. I was hoping for the Miles Turner sign and trade. I think he can really add to our team and be a rim protector. I don't really think Tristan's the same level of gritty and tough and can bring the same attitude to the team. And just to finish off, I'm still definitely a big believer in the bring back Aaron Baines movement. I think he'd still fit really well with this team. I liked watching him a lot when he was in Boston. And he is 6'10" for you, Chase. So
we got time with you, Cam. We'll get back to you on that though. All right. Second round rebuttal. What you guys want to do next? Adam, you're up.
Cam, I could not agree more. Bring me back Aaron Baines. I've said this to Chase so many times. That is absolutely the guy I want back here to be like our big, tough, hairy, like in everybody's face center. Just scare everybody off. I love that. Drew, I think we're in agreement that Thompson obviously like is an improvement. He helps the team. He makes us a little bit better, but we're still missing that big guy, and he takes that roster spot. Like the roster is pretty much full now, so it's not like we can go just add another guy. He has that spot. And also Kardashian curse. I mean, we brought in Chris Humphries as like the big dude to try to be a center who is married to a Kardashian. That did not work out. I do not see it being any better this time. So a little worried about that part too.
Yeah, we got time. Perfect time to end on that. All right, Drew, I know we cut you off early about Jeff Teague. I'll give you a little bonus time to get your opinion on that end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to take Jeff Teague in any other direction. I'm going to miss Brad Wanamaker. He's an excellent free throw shooter. Obviously, we're losing him to the Golden State Warriors. And frankly, like, he's a pretty creative scorer. Like, he was not the worst person to come off of the bench when we have to rest Kemba. I do not think that Jeff Teague is a bad replacement for him. I think he's a solid replacement. He'll actually be the longest tenured NBA player on this Celtics roster now. So he'll definitely provide some great leadership. I'm really excited to see what he does. And yeah, Adam, you're right. We don't have the center. The roster is basically full at this point. And the 6'9" power forward, it's like, oh God, is Daniel Tice going to start at center again? We're going to get exposed again. That sucks, but hopefully we'll try to make some trades or figure out our free agency a little bit better and add 6'11", 7-footer somewhere down the line. That's it from me.
All right, Cam, you're up.
Yeah, I don't really have as much of a rebuttal as do just adding on. I'm looking at the Celtics roster right now, and it's just guard after guard after guard. Devontae Green, Carson Edwards, Teague now. Tice, I think we're not giving him full credit. I think there were definitely games where Tice definitely provided like a much-needed spark. But I think kind of like how Cantor was, Tice is very matchup dependent, and that's some matchup he's simply going to get exposed. He definitely has a shooting ability, which is always nice for a big man. But looking at the Celtics roster, I mean, we don't have Robert Williams listed as a center, and I love Williams, but only 6'8". Tyson Thompson, and then obviously Taco Fall, but that's not
he's not a player.
Right,
he's just there for like publicity.
that's not part of our puzzle right now. So I don't know. Like Adam said, we kind of consolidate the roster. We have a lot of talent spread out. We need to consolidate and turn that into guys that can give us substantial minutes.
Yeah,
we don't need 8 point guards.
Yeah.
All
right. So just before we move on to the next topic, my 2 cents again, but I just totally forgot what I was going to say. I think it's just about, I do like seeing Tristan Thompson join the Celtics. I think it's a very good ad, but his addition, just stock value plummeted the second Ibaka matched his deal and went to the Clippers. Like, I don't know if Ainge was targeting him at all, but I don't know anyone in the NBA, any NBA fan right now that would prefer Thompson over Serge Ibaka. Obviously 2 years of age, but they're both mid or late 20s, early 30s. Not that big of a deal in my opinion. And I do like the Teague signing. Frankly, I think he's a little better than Wanamaker. We'll see how that ages, but I think we won the guard signing compared to the center forward signing, but we really needed to win the forward center signing over the guard signing. All right, now on to our third topic before we get to the bonus round of sort, and that is just Jason Tatum's extension. Adam, you want to kick us off?
I love this so much. I mean, it's not a huge surprise that we signed him. He's best player on our team, and we signed him to the biggest contract we could to have him around as long as possible. I mean, I can't possibly have a complaint about that. Also, I mean, as you all know, I absolutely love Jaylen Brown, huge Jaylen Brown fan. And the fact I know for the next 4 or 5 years at least, every Celtics game I watch, they're both on the court together. That gets me really excited. That's awesome.
All right, Drew.
Yeah, dude, Jason Tatum is a good basketball player. That's true. Signing a max contract, 195 over 5, the same contract that Donovan Mitchell just signed, seems crazy to me. I know that he's still developing. His stats are pretty good. When there are 6 seconds left on the clock and we're down 2, I wish that we could give the ball to someone who wasn't going to dribble it around for 3 seconds and then huck up a heavily contested 3. I don't think that Jason Tatum is ever going to be a top 5 NBA player, and I don't think that Jason Tatum is ever going to win the Celtics an NBA championship. I don't think he is worth this contract, and I believe that he is not working within the Celtics system and helping elevate players like Jaylen Brown. That's it for me.
All right, Cam.
Yeah, so I kind of hear both sides, honestly. At the end of the day, I do like signing Tatum that deal just because you have to keep him, right? It's kind of like how the NFL QB deal where if you think you find a franchise quarterback, you have to give him a huge deal because if you don't, someone else is going to. And at the end of the day, I think we kind of knew that these guys, specifically these 2 guys, were our long-term investment pieces. We knew that pretty early, around 2017, 2018. and we more or less put our cards on the table, and we invested long term and said, yeah, like this is us. This is who we're going to be as a team, which I guess is great to see as that confidence. Like Adam said, we expected that coming. But now is the time where it's like Jason Tatum's going into year 4 now, year 4 or year 5.
Pretty sure it's year.
I think it's year 4.
Year 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so year 4 now, where it's like, all right, like you're the guy. You got the deal. Like go be just as good as Luka. Go be top 5, top 6. Don't just make the all-star team. Start on the all-star team. So that's where we are. I mean, he gave us good signs last year, so we're banking and throwing the house on his development and his growth.
Yep. All right. Rebuttal second round. Adam, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, Drew gave me some more thoughts, but pretty much, I mean, do I think that we can win a championship with Tatum, and do I think he can be a top player in the league? Absolutely. And am I confident that he can? Absolutely. Optimistic, sure. But also, if he's not a top 5 player in the league, if he doesn't win a championship, that's not a reason to not pay him. I mean, you compared to Donovan Mitchell. You tell me in the next 5 years the Jazz are going to go win a championship and Donovan Mitchell is going to be a top 5 player in the league? Absolutely not. If you're telling me that's the reason not to give somebody a contract, don't give it to Donovan Mitchell. Don't be giving maxes to like Buddy Hield and Chris Middleton. He's the best player on our team. He's the best player we could have right now. Of course we pay him, keep him around.
All right, Drew, you want to rebuttal to that?
Yeah, I do agree with both of you in that, sure, at this point in the Celtics roster, he's probably our best player. It's sweet that we have a good coach and can work as a team and elevate our team where our best player is able to get to the point that we have. My issue is that Jason Tatum is not the guy. I'm not saying that the Jazz are going to make it to the championship, but Donovan Mitchell is the guy. Donovan Mitchell is a guy that you can trust. There are other players that you can trust with the ball. Jason Tatum is young and inexperienced, and I know that different fundamentals and whatnot come with age. I just do not see Jason Tatum bringing the Celtics to the level that we need Jason Tatum to do. We are banking on him. This is our all-in, and it is not the guy for it. He is not the guy.
If problems that he's young and inexperienced, though, I feel like a great way to help him get a little older and a little more experienced is guaranteeing him 5 more years on the same team with the same coach and a lot of the same players. So
yeah, no, I agree that that's going to help give him experience, but that's not going to help him with a clutch factor, and that's not going to help him be the guy that we need to give the ball to. He makes bad decisions, and yes, that's because he's young. That's going to change. Is he going to become more clutch? Is he going to become the guy that we can count on? That's something I'm scared about.
All right, Cam, you want to close this round out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have a ton to add. I think we're kind of, you guys are arguing 2 different sides, and there's no way to know, but time will tell. I think one thing we're not giving Tatum credit for is that Game 7 against Toronto. I think that he was a pretty huge part of that game. He was a pretty huge part of that game. We'll see what happens, but I mean, like Drew said, I mean, this is our all in. We threw the house on it, so we'll see. I mean, if we didn't sign a max, someone else would have, and we didn't want that because then we're back to where we were in 2017, 2018, right? So, I mean, we'll see. You think you got our guy, pay him. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and just before the round closes out, I'll add my 2 cents again. But so my 2 big takeaways from Tatum signing is, one, Cam, you mentioned early, how's the NFL? It's not a coincidence every offseason, and like this is NFL, not NBA, but it's not a coincidence every offseason you see the quarterback who was a rookie who wasn't cut, but he was extended, get the largest quarterback deal in the NFL. And that strictly is because A, money just appreciates over time, obviously. And B, that's just how the league works. It's worked like that. It's like, how come, obviously no one's going to get a deal like Mahomes did, but that's just how like the NBA works. And you got your guy, you got your max deal, which is good. I like how they have a max offer. So you just straight up can't just be giving them the world, because some of these guys I'm sure would just want the world. And at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. Frankly, I'd rather have him on the team. That max contract is really not making a bigger dent on us than, cutting $20 million out. So I really don't care too much about the max contract. I'm happy to have him for at least another 5, assuming we don't trade him away. And then the second takeaway is just, he is young. He's 23. I'm pretty sure he's 23, right? Something like that. So he's 23, just got handed just under 200 mil. There's in Drew's case, I'm worried he's going to take the money and just, I got 200 mil in the bank. I'm 23. Why do I care about how well I do? Because Boston's a very championship attitude. And then kind of to go against your point, Drew, the reason why Mitchell's the best, and you might see him as like, oh, he's all this, he's all that. He's 2 years older than Tatum, just for starters. He's played more college ball. And second, the second best player in his team is like Rudy Gobert or Jordan Clarkson. He has no supporting.
Just a defensive player of the year.
Well, I mean, just offensively.
Yeah.
He is. I'm just saying offensively, he's the only talent on that team. You got Ingles who can hit threes, and you got Clarkson who's crafty. But on the Celtics, you got him, you got Kemba, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Smart who will huck up a three. And then, that's just, he's got a lot more guys. So when we see Tatum with the ball, we kind of got to expect him to score. Whereas I think if you're the Jazz with Mitchell, you kind of need him to score half the time because he's pulling up all those shots. But that's just my 2 cents of that. If anyone wants to say any, rebut, anyone wants to say any response to that, be my guest before we move on to the final topic.
Just a few last words from me. I don't disagree that Tatum should have got paid. It's how the NBA works right now. If we weren't going to pay him, someone else was going to, and it's like, oh, now the Celtics really don't have it. I was more just trying to make the point that I don't think Tatum is what we think Tatum is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
I think it's a fair point, too. The one thing I'll say is, and I think Cam pointed this out a little bit, it's like when he does have insane performances in the playoffs, people are just kind of like, oh, yeah, it's expected because he's a star now. And then when he misses a big shot at the end, it's like, oh, he sucks. How could he possibly miss that shot? So I feel like we can't have it both ways. We got to either, be super excited about him having breakout performances or accept that he's a star, accept that he's not going to make every shot and hope that he makes the ones we need in the future this year.
So that I have that up right now, that Toronto game. Let me just find the stats here.
And just what Cam's doing for these stats, Adam, I agree with what you were saying. I was trying to say that's my kind of thing when you compare the two of him and Mitchell. But yeah, as you were saying, Cam.
Yeah, so Tatum has 29, 10 boards, 7 assists in that game 7.
And that's a game 7. What more can you ask out of your supermax player than doing that in a game 7? I mean, that's clutch if you ask me. That is clutch.
Off for sure. It's not.
It's consistency. If that's what I think, that's what you're trying to get at.
It's not that he's missing big shots that are wide open. And it's like, oh yeah, he's a superstar. He needs to hit those shots. He's hitting a lot of those shots. He's missing the shots when we have 5 seconds left on the clock. We're down to attack the rim, try to get to the line. Instead, he's going to dribble around like a rookie and huck up a bad contested three. And that's what I don't like to see. I guess things like that will come.
That's fair, and I think that's poor decision making. That hopefully we can give to his inexperience. I mean, maybe we can't, but I'm hoping we can. I'm optimistic though, just given like the fact that Cam said he could pull out and do that in a game 7. It shows he does have the clutch there, and hopefully he can just find some consistency with it.
Drew, are you talking about that? Was it game 3 against Toronto where we had the ball tied up? And I mean, we had last shot, right?
Yeah.
We had last shot. Right? Yeah, we had last shot to win it, and then we had no play. Basically, it's called ISO and ripped one.
And it's like attack the rim, dude, and he won't do it. He won't do it, and he's at least excellent perimeter shooter.
Yeah, but if that shot went in, how cool it would have been.
It would have been cool, but it didn't. And we got to judge him on what he.
I think so. Real quick, I don't care if we want to keep talking about this because we're talking about something very relevant. I think a lot of it comes down to the last second, Drew, with the dribbling. If I'm wrong, come at me, but I think a lot of it does come down to coaching. If you're Brad Stevens, why are you letting him just dribble around? You're not telling him to attack the rim. I'm not letting Tatum off the hook completely, but basketball is a very, coaches. I feel like a coach is a very relevant. Obviously, it's not like the NFL where if you didn't have a head coach, you'd be screwed. But it's not like the MLB. In my opinion, it's not like soccer. I obviously don't know my soccer too well. I feel like it's way more relevant than the NHL. I feel like if you're like writing up a final shot, you're like Tatum is what the last thing we want you doing right now is dribbling around and then shooting through. I'd rather you attack the rim and leave seconds and let our defense do the thing. All right, anyone want to say
no way
that?
Brad Stevens is telling him to dribble around, wait for 2
Yeah,
seconds.
no, I agree. He's not
Yeah.
telling him to dribble around. I just don't know why. I think a lot of the coaching's got to be, you got to tell him not to. You know what I mean? You
But
can't.
it's like, how do you not know? How do you not know?
Yeah.
It does seem weird that they didn't have a set play for that. The only thing that I can think of is, I don't know if any reporter asked about this or if there's any like leaked quotes about this. The only thing that I can think of is if Tatum just went rogue and was like, I'm the guy, I'm gonna prove it. Or if Stevens was kind of like, at that point, if we're talking about the game 3 against Toronto, we're up 2-0. Stevens is trying to maybe give him like a confidence booster or something and like improve, like, I believe in you, and he just says like, go be special. But I mean, even in that case, but then I guess you could argue that he did learn from that, because in the Eastern Conference Finals, he did take it to the hoop in that situation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
got blocked.
Got a shit pinned. Yeah, Bam pinned his shit. But
Yeah.
But I guess if you're looking at those two isolated scenarios, I guess you could see could see growth in that area. But I mean, that East in the playoffs, I mean, you gotta have a set play for that, right? Like, that's tied up. You can more or less put the series away.
Dude, if I got blocked like that to lose a game too, I'm only hooking up threes the rest of my career.
All right, let's move into just like the 4th final bonus round topic. And, I want to just say, where do the Celtics go from here? What do we see in the future? What do we not suspect, think we could do this season? How far could we go? Yada, yada, yada. Adam, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. To be honest, I think the thing we have to do this year is finally make a trade in the middle of the season. I'm just thinking back to like the last, honestly, every year where it's the day of the trade deadline and I'm just like refreshing my phone, waiting for the Celtics to make a deal and nothing happens. I mean, it goes all the way back to when it was like, are we going to get Paul George or Jimmy Butler or something? And we did nothing. Honestly, retrospect, I'm kind of glad we didn't. I'm glad we like built our own core of young wings. But this time we know what we need. It's the exact same thing we needed last year and did nothing about, but a big, talented center to get us past the Eastern Conference Finals. If we don't do that, we're going to lose in the Eastern Conference Finals again. Every other good team in the Eastern Conference has a big, talented center. And until we have somebody to play against them, to guard them, we're just not going to win. That person is not on the roster right now. So we're either going to make a trade, and I genuinely think we could go to the finals, or we're going to do absolutely nothing again, and we're going to get bounced the same way we have 3 of the last 4 years in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep. Drew?
I totally agree with Adam in that adding a 7-footer, adding a real athletic center onto this team, like obviously Embiid's one of the top 2 centers in the league. If we could have top caliber center, that would push us to the next level. That would be sweet. In the meantime, I have mixed feelings about the Celtics draft. I'm really excited about Aaron Nesmith. Apparently that guy is a weapon from the perimeter. He's 6'6", he's 215. He has a good frame for a small forward. He's going to be a great player. Our current perimeter threats like Marcus Smart, I know he actually has a solid jump shooting percentage. Adam might be able to tell you that stat. Every time I see Marcus Smart shoot, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I am with you, Drew.
I can just tell you on Smart,
from the
top
perimeter.
3
Adding Aaron
percentage in the
Nesmith,
league pull-up threes.
True. I know that stat exists, but that's just my perspective of it as a fan. Like, Marcus Smart, not a great three-point shooter. Adding Aaron Nesmith is going to be sweet, and that is coming from me, who would love to have seen us pick a center with that pick. And then our next 2 picks was like Peyton Pritchard, guard, and then the Israeli guy.
Yamada, baby.
Yeah, Yamadar, also
Israeli Westbrook.
Guys, let's pick a center. I'm not psyched with the draft. I am excited to see how Aaron Nesmith spreads out our offense, though.
All right, Cam?
Yeah, I'm going to touch upon what Drew's talking about with the draft. I'm kind of in the same boat. It's frustrating to see us, keep all day of the draft. I kept hearing I saw some tweet that was like, we're itching to get in the top 3 picks, the word they use, us hoping we go after Wise or something like that. And it's tough to see how, Ainge and the team just keeps building like depth and like all these great role players. And it's like at some point, the word I used earlier was consolidate, right? Like you have to consolidate. I think Naismith is going to be a good, the kid out of Vandy is going to be a good shooter, which like never hurts to have, especially if like we are kind of anticipating more playoff matchups against the Heat with their shooters. Like at some point, like when do we kind of, what do you call it? Ante up and go after that big guy and say, yeah, we'll give you 3 picks, Marcus Smart or a role player for, a star over 6'8" that can guard Giannis in the Eastern Conference Finals because like you said, like it's a matchup league. Like at the end of the day, we don't have that guy right now, unless we're just banking on Tatum, Brown giving us 30 every playoffs. But I don't know. We just don't have that guy right now, in my opinion.
All right, so I'll give my quick 2 cents, then we can do final last thing, and then we'll end this segment. But so I absolutely agree with you guys. There's one point, I feel like, Cam, you were like really close to saying it, so I didn't want to say it. But when are we going to make that splash move? You know what I mean? The only move, the splashy like trades we've ever done was trading away. You know what I mean? When are we going to bring in some guy? And so here's the thing. I don't think the Jazz are going to be – and I'm not just saying this Donovan Mitchell Jazz like we were talking about the last thing, but I think that it is very realistic the Celtics make a run for Rudy Gobert. And my reasoning is we don't need a scoring center. We need a defensive center. We have gotten guys that can score the ball. We never rely on our centers to score because, frankly, we've never had any. But you get a guy like Gobert, pretty sure he's 7'1". He is just I don't even know. He's just massive. He's a massive human being. You get a guy like him, I think our win percentage, our win share, I don't know how it works. I know baseball, there's WAR and all that good stuff. I think our winning, just whatever that stat is, it would shoot through the roof because you got a guy you can rely on in the paint who can guard Embiid, who is more of a threat than Bam Adebayo, obviously, in my opinion. But, he gives you that neutral out and he can snag boards. So I think it's very realistic that the Celtics make a move for a guy like that, specifically with the fact and especially with the fact that we locked up Tatum and Brown for years to come, and we're not drafting for stars anymore because we have our stars. We have the stars. We have Kemba. We don't like spending over the luxury tax for some reason. I don't hate that. I don't dislike it. But I'm just, pointing out, we aren't looking to preserve draft picks anymore. I don't know why we picked 3 guys this draft. Couldn't tell you. But I think, give away our next 2 first-round picks. If we're going all the way for a championship, how good's the 30th pick? That's just my thing. All right. Anything else? Anyone? Adam, Drew, and Cam. I'll go that order again. Last thing to say, Adam.
Just to hop back in there, I think you're absolutely right. And I think the thing that it's kind of in my head is like Danny Ainge just seems a little bit scared to like commit to win now. And I think honestly, like you could say since we, made that huge trade with the Nets, got all these huge picks that have turned into, an awesome core that we've been building and rebuilding. And for some reason though, even though we keep going to the Eastern Conference Finals, we seem to still be trying to build something and build for some reason. Like we still have a bunch of future picks. We still have all these like weird assets that we don't really need. And like Cam was saying, consolidating, like it really is just time to cash in. I think this season's going to be the time we learn like, okay, is Danny Ainge just scared of this team for some reason and scared to let them try to win, give them the pieces they need to win? Or can he actually give them that last piece and be a championship winning team?
Drew?
Yeah, I love that take, Adam. We need to actually make some big moves. If it means sacrificing some future picks to adding the pieces that we need now, this is a team that is ready to add some new players, add the new pieces, and go after a championship. Chase, I also loved your take on adding a defensive center. We have plenty of scorers. We don't need scorers. We don't need someone who can go put up 25 in the paint, but having someone to shut down Bam Adebayo in the Eastern Conference Finals, that would be awesome because having 6'9" Daniel Tice out there is nothing. Having Enes Kanter out there, nothing. How tall is Robert Williams? Like 6'8", not going to do anything to stop these elite centers in the Eastern Conference. So that would be sweet to add a defensive star there.
Yeah, Cam?
Yeah, I kind of thought that take you said was interesting, Chase, but I don't know if it was Adam, scared to win now, right? Because you're never going to get fired as a GM if you're rebuilding, right? That's the way to keep your jobs, constantly rebuild, to keep your job forever. And that's why, going back to that center, I was really excited about the Pacers Hayward sign-in trade, because I really thought Miles Turner could be that guy. Only 24 years old. We could have had him for, I think, 3 more years on his contract. led the league in blocks last year. I thought he would have fit in pretty well, been super gritty, and like you said, doesn't need to score as much, can really just be a defensive guy. And then the other guy I just looked up his contract when you said that, Chase, was Rudy Gobert. I never thought of that before, but I think this says he is his contract is up after the 2020-2021 season. So, depending on how this year goes, if we are kind of just keep in the same cycle of where we are, maybe that's our guy. Getting him away from Utah could be tough because they are kind of in the same position as us, as making strong playoff wins. And those two big contracts we just let go obviously kind of limit our cap room. But I don't hate that idea of maybe getting him to come all the way to Boston.
And last thing I want to say real quick is I know this absolutely will not happen, but nothing would make me happier than the Celtics having 0 draft picks next year. If we somehow found a way to just get rid of all of that, give me a player now. If it's draft day next year and we have no picks on the board, I will be thrilled. That'd be fantastic.
If we could add a big man, for sure.
Yeah, and just my last thing before we end this is, Danny Ainge was the GM when we got KG and Ray, right?
When we got them?
Yeah. I don't want to see. Yeah, I know he was there when Ray walked, but I don't know if he was the one that acquired them. But let me know when you find it, Cam.
I'm in 2003, so yeah, he's been with us for a minute.
I was gonna say he's been there for a fat minute.
So here's the difference between now and then. Then you got old guys. They were early 30s, mid 30s, and Ray, KG, and Paul. Obviously, Paul was the youngest. Ray was the oldest. You got older guys we got to go win now. You got guys like Smart, Tatum, and Brown, and Kemba's. He's just turning 31. He's turning 31 this year. So obviously, I still count him as kind of young. But that core group of guys, that they're all entering their prime, if not possibly starting their prime. So I know it might be in a couple of years we'll be able to win it. But we just saw the Warriors go to the finals 5 years in a row. So that's not the right mentality. Is let's wait. Every year someone gets older, they might, we could never see Tatum play this level again. We can never see Smart play this level again. We can never see Kemba play this level again. Is it realistic? No, probably they will. But my thing is, you got to sack up. We don't need, more guys we can draft and stash from internationals. We don't need another, I'm not saying I like the Celtics draft personally, but you don't need to get guys that you're going to cut after a year that we have in the past. But you know what? It's time to, again, I can't say this enough. If we're going to win a championship, how useful is the 30th pick in the NBA draft? How useful is that? That's all I want. That's all I want to say. So any last heebie-jeebie before we end this thing?
No, I agree. We have 8-point cards, and that's ridiculous. Give me something else. Give me a center, and we'll win a championship.
All right, so that is it. It's been thank you guys for hopping on to do this around the horn action. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll do stuff more like this more in the future. And before we sign off, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Patriots_Nation, 2 underscores. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him. Great Instagram account. If I follow him, and he's the only Patriots news account I follow. And, I used to follow a bunch of guys. So if I were to give my recommendation, it'd be him. But yeah, thank you guys for joining in. Hopefully you like this content. If you guys like this, comment below and we'll keep this kind of around the horn action going. We'll get more videos later on in the week as Thanksgiving is today, technically, when this video will be released. So we are all busy during the weekend, the long week. But yeah, thank you guys for joining in and see you guys next time.
Thanks for having us, Chase.
Peace out.